Okay, let's bring in Judge Jeanine, co-host of The Five. She was at the courthouse again today. Judge, great to have you with us. You know, when you were talking earlier about all of your years as a prosecutor, all of your years as a judge, you know all of this in and out, which is of such great value to us. So tell me your takeaway from what you saw in there today.
Well, you know, I was going to come in and talk about what I listened to. It was very drab. It was technical. It was laying the foundation for business records, AT&T, Verizon, and then irrelevant information, communications between Gina Rodriguez on behalf of Stormy Daniels and Dylan Howard on behalf of American Media. And then at the end, the prosecution, the defense says, you know, we'd like, Judge, for you to make sure that Michael Cohen just stops talking. There seemed to be an indication that everybody understood he was coming in on Monday. And as a result of that, they requested that gag order on Michael Cohen. And so the judge, to my astonishment, comes out and says to the DA, literally, I'm going to direct the people, meaning the DA, to tell Michael Cohen that the judge doesn't want him speaking about this case. And I'm sitting there stunned. You're either a judge, you're wearing a robe, or you're not. And for you to say to and the prosecution says, well, you know, Your Honor, we tell all our witnesses not to refrain from speaking about the case. It's such a shell game. The whole thing is about smoke and mirrors, with the prosecution saying, we told him not to talk, but he's on TikTok, announcing now he's running for Congress on TikTok.
That's right.
And then on top of that, the judge says, well, tell him, for me, I'd like it if he'd stop talking.
Yeah, tell him this is from the bench.
Yeah,
it's like, go tell him that your father said so.
Yeah, and
you know,
it
but
was
nothing
so
with teeth.
Incredible. In 32 years in these positions, I have never seen that. And then you have Alvin Bragg walking into the courtroom. And I was looking at his back, and he was sitting there crunched up next to his bodyguard. And I'm saying to myself, Alvin Bragg, do you know how many defendants are in jail right now waiting to come to court for trial because of all the COVID delays? And you're in here as a spectator watching a political theater, because nothing that happened today had anything to do with Donald Trump. Nothing that's been happening has anything to do with a real crime. It's all smoke and mirrors again to keep Donald Trump in the courtroom. And you know what? I hate just repeating myself, but I just was so reminded as I looked at the judge and thought about myself. You've got the flag of the United States, the flag of New York State, the seal of the state. Above that, in God we trust. You can't trust this justice system with what they're doing to this president, with all of the shenanigans that they're going through to try to make him look bad. Stormy Daniels, that whole testimony yesterday was a charade. It was a show. It was ridiculous. It's prejudicial, but they don't care. They've got him on lockdown, and they've got him not going on the campaign trail. And I haven't talked about the campaign. I've been talking about the law. But the more I witness this, the more I sit there, I say, this is a sham. This is a banana republic. Joe Biden's out there campaigning, and Donald Trump, a former president, is sitting in the bowels of a courtroom in Manhattan that's filthy, dirty, where murders, rapists, violent felons, and we've got him on some bookkeeping thing that's expired from the statute of limitations. This is lunacy, Martha. It's crazy.
And even the larger extrapolated charge that this was somehow a campaign violation. The falsifying records is a misdemeanor, which, as you say, has run out of the statute of limitations. But then because it was extracted to this felony, which is, you know, in the furtherance of another crime, you falsified these records. We haven't gotten to any of this.
No.
You know, tying Trump to any of this, and they're about to wrap up their case. I just want to get a quick preview from you. And with regard to Michael Cohen, I mean, you can talk all you want about the kind of things that the former president says about the people involved in this case, what he just said about the judge, which is perfectly within his rights to say. Michael Cohen, I watched some of his TikTok videos. He's got a shirt on with Trump in jail.
Yeah, with a picture of Trump.
And he's basically saying, you know, we're going to look at them in a little bit, but, you know, why wouldn't this judge want both sides to think that he is fair? Why wouldn't he want to say, you know what, tell him to button it up, I'm going to put a gag on order on him. We're going to hear from him Monday. I don't want to hear one thing from him before Monday.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe the weekend before he's testifying. But the answer to the question is obvious, Martha, because he doesn't want to, because he doesn't want to be fair, because he doesn't care about the Constitution as it relates to Donald Trump. It is shocking. The whole thing is blasphemous.
But I'm watching some of the other channels because I want to listen to all the coverage out there. And they're all talking about what a great job Mershon is doing, how he's very even-handed, how they're glad that there are two attorneys who are taking in all of this evidence, who are on this jury because they will know how to weigh this evidence.
Well, you know what? It'll be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with this jury. Again, we're from a jury pool where 90% of the people hate Donald Trump and won't vote for him. So let's not kid ourselves on that end. But as it relates to what we're seeing every day, this judge is allowing irrelevant, prejudicial evidence that's not probative. Today, nothing had anything to do with Donald Trump. Nothing. All of these text messages are reading them ad nauseum. Dylan Howard said this, and Gina Rodriguez said that, and Daily Mail was going to pay $200. And what are you going to do? And then they bring in these paralegals from the DA's office in Manhattan. They said, well, you know, Donald Trump said this on Twitter, and at that time this was happening. I mean, the jury is like yawning, and they're sitting there. They don't know what's going on either. They don't know what the crime is.
You know, I always like to go back to this point because I think it adds to what you're saying. The Federal Election Commission looked at this
and bypassed it
and said there's no law broken here. Now, Alvin Bragg was pressured to take this case. Mm-hmm. You know, Mark Pomerantz wanted this case to be pursued. He left. He wrote a book about it. Bragg's got a lot on the line here. And he's the only one of these cases that is likely to happen before the election.
I agree with you. There's no other case that's going to go to trial before the election. But as I was sitting there looking at Alvin Bragg's back, I couldn't help but think he's here because he knows that if he doesn't win this case, he's in deep doo-doo. I mean, because he took it on. He ruined his own reputation. He took a case that previously he refused to take. Cy Vance refused it. Federal election refused it. Southern District of New York refused it.
Yep.
And he's watching a judge who's allowing in prejudicial evidence that has nothing to do. What does Stormy Daniels have to do with this? If they brought her in to say, did you have an NDA? I would have objected to that because the NDA is per se a contract.
Brought her in. I mean, it's my opinion. You have way more experience than I do. But they brought her in to show that there was something that the former president wanted buried, right? This is her story. This is what he wanted to go away.
Right. But she couldn't put Donald Trump in the middle of any of the negotiations of the NDA. It was all the attorneys and it was all the people who were working for him. Nobody has put a finger on Donald Trump.
Let's just show one of the text messages that the judge is talking about here between Stormy's publicist, Gina Rodriguez, and a National Enquirer editor, Dylan Howard, and they're texting back and forth on October 9th, right before the election, 2016. Howard, I can get 100. Rodriguez, laugh out loud. Rodriguez, okay, what about 150? They go back and forth. 110, 125, LOL, 120, sold, says Rodriguez.
Yep.
And, you know, I also go back to what Hope Hicks said. She said Michael Cohen called himself Mr. Fix-It, but only after he'd broken it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's quite believable that he was like, I'm handling this whole thing, and I'm not going to bother, I'm not going to bother Mr. Trump with this thing. We're going to figure this out, and then he's going to be so proud of me that I took care of this.
Yeah, Mr. Fix-It. I mean, it was a moniker that he was proud of.
Yeah.
But think about going into the trial on Monday. You know, there is so much affection that's been shown to Donald Trump by people who worked for him, whether it was Hope Hicks or whether it was
Madeline
Westerhout, and a lot, even David Pecker. I mean,
and the jury's hearing all that.
Yes. Okay. Michael Cohen is coming in as the most hated guy. Most of the witnesses talked about what a creep he was. And yet they're going to turn him into Saint Michael Cohen. I guarantee it.
We will see. Monday's going to be interesting. Yeah. Judge, thank you so much. Great to see you. We'll see you on the 5. Thanks for coming by.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.